Right then, so we'll start with yours then, Lucas, on the left-hand side, okay? As we said, stance a bit wider now, okay? I mean, you're a big chap anyway. You need to get a bit of a base to sort of start from, okay? Having your feet that close there and that left foot turned in, just going to restrict your mobility, okay? And we saw that then in your back. So obviously when you swung the golf club here, you got to about 3/4 of the way back, and then your swing now is basically completed by hands and wrists there, and the arms were just lifting up. So this position here now, that amount of wrist hinge, as we said, cupping the wrist, that club face now is open, yeah?
Yeah.
So you've got a tendency now to send to the right. With the ball starting off a little bit far forward in your stance and that left foot turned in, as you come back to the golf ball now, the club's going to overtake slightly, head sort of staying back a little bit too much. That's going to cause the club face to close. An open club face to a closed club face could equal dead straight, but could also be called long way right, long way left, yeah? And that, from the inconsistency standpoint, very tough at the golf balls. You wanted to down the fairway more consistently, okay? So we're trying to get the sensation from a wider base, right hip and right shoulder now going to rotate around. So you're going to complete the backswing now with the body, yeah?
Yeah.
That's a shoulder turn there. Now this is obviously all clubs are full swings, okay? You've got to be just mindful of the curve. As you go back from there's good, keep rotating, but you kind of just sway a little bit, okay? You've got to wave on this one, but on occasion you've got a bit too far over here. Yeah. No, the wrists are okay. That's fine. That's a good amount of wrist hinge there, okay? But if you kept moving too far to this side on the right-hand side over here, that means you're going to often bottom out a little bit early, catch it a bit thin, and maybe hook it, okay? This one was okay, from the top of the back there. As you come back to the golf ball, good impact position, able to rotate through to that full follow-through, which is a good position. I mean, in both cases, okay, your follow-through is good. What you will see, though, because your body's not moving as well, look at your footwork on the narrower stance. Sort of and Elvis on the dance floor, kind of like feet spinning around there, just because your feet, so you can't really move your knees that way, because if you did, they sort of lose control compared to that lower half movement.
Yeah.
A bit more stable, yeah? You're moving on to that left side, okay? Right, Elias, onto you there, mate. So setup-wise, we said arms a bit kind of reaching out for the golf ball here now, and the grip, which we'll look at on the right-hand one now, was a bit weak. Weak in terms of terminology, okay? It's not weak in terms of grip pressure or performance, just weak, strong, okay? So we move that left hand over now, so we can see that little crease that your thumb and forefinger are making now, kind of up towards your right shoulder, as is the right hand, okay? When you interlock, you don't jam them in there into the webbing, okay? Your knuckles are all kind of almost lined up here now in this fashion, yeah? So the grip is a lot more in the fingers. Your thumb there's got some effort to kind of go over rather than, you say, jamming in there and going, well, this thumb doesn't fit now. Okay, I'll just move that thumb out of the way. You moved your left thumb round to the left, which gave space for your right thumb, but it gave you a weak grip, yeah? Which is going to cause that club to come back, twisting out to the right there, okay? Added to the fact, obviously, your arms now, again, quite rigid up here, okay? As your club went back now, the club was going to sort of over-rotate at this point here now. So the club face here, almost kind of horizontal. So you sort of gone and fanned it around you this, which is again an opening up of that club face, okay? So that was kind of your setup down the line. This was obviously with a better grip. Now we come around the corner, look at your setup from here. Back to that one there. The difference in your arms there, yeah? So your arms are hanging down. There's a bit of an angle now between the club and the shaft. Much more relaxed setup. The tension in your shoulder blades now is going to be gone. You're not reaching out for that golf ball. I think the term used was like it feels loose and a bit weak with that grip. We want speed. We don't want power and muscle and sort of shoving it as hard as you can, all right? So from this position here now, good backswing position there, okay, the top. Coming back to the golf ball now. Good strike of the ball and a good release, and that ball going down the range. You look back and go, that felt a bit weird, a bit wobbly. As I said, if you miss it the centre, which in all due respect, you're going to more often than not, okay, that club will have a twisting tendency. Don't then think, I've got to try and stop that twist. The clubs are designed, I'm not going to bore you with technology, but the clubs are designed, if you miss hit the face, to roll back to centre and spin back the other way. So if you catch on the toe, opens the club face, the ball struck here, spins back to middle, it spins back right to left. Catch it here, it closes the club face, the ball spins back to the middle, it curves back to target. So the face is actually slightly kind of cambered this way, called a gear effect. So if you do miss hit it, the club's going to work for you, okay? Don't worry about miss hits off the club face, okay? As long as you're not catching outside the grooves here, I guess, which would be a bit extreme. Somewhere in between those two marks there, you've got enough to hit the golf ball where you want to go, okay? But I think gripping that club loose to a lot of people just feels like they're having as much control. As I said, holding your phone, you wouldn't squeeze it as tight as you can because now you can't move, okay? Nice and relaxed in that grip pressure. Get it in the fingers and don't jam it, okay? I think in terms of the tilt that we mentioned then, I'm not going to see it from this side. We will actually, yeah. The tilt there is just that little bit of lean you can see with your body, okay? You're just taking your top half of your torso and just tipping it this way. What you did when you tilted was move everything, knees, hips, and also like almost like a lateral move, which, yeah, it's going to be awkward to swing from there, okay? You're just taking your top half and just popping it down there. So your right hand down by your right leg, just slide down towards that knee. And that's with all clubs, really, just a bit more with the driver because that ball is further forward, okay? So there's a few changements there at setup, grip, not jamming, and the arms hanging down, and then swing-wise, I think having a few goes on that bag. They just understand when you come back to the goal ball what impact should look like, okay? Everything now should be kind of matched up to that wall, yeah? Club face and arms back into impact nice and square, not you trying to pull the handle through to hit it harder, yeah? Does that make sense, yeah?
Yeah.
Makes sense on yours then, Lucas? Yeah, I understand, yeah? So a couple of things there, so sort of mainly set up tweaks, okay? Swing-wise for yourself, looks obviously more turn with that torso.
Yeah.
From yourself, it's being a bit loose and just getting that club to kind of match up to impact then, yeah? Okay?
Brilliant.
Good stuff.